Hi guys, Alex here. It's time for another top 10. Today we are counting down Pep Guardiola's transfer wish list, the 10 names that we think could be heading to Manchester City this summer on orders of the big man, Pep Guardiola. But before we get started, I need you to give this video a like, give it a thumbs up. Every time you do, we'll add another candle in memorial of Louis van Gaal's career, taken so soon. Once given it a thumbs up, guys, let's get started with number 10. Coming in at number 10 is Spanish goal machine Alvaro Morata, currently at Juventus, and he's got us asking, could Pep Guardiola bring his fellow countryman with him to the Etihad? A £38 million price tag is what Juventus are asking for, and that could be a stumbling block. And it doesn't help that Real Madrid have a buyback clause in the player, which could hinder things further. Personally, I've never really understood buyback clauses. It's the football equivalent of going back to your ex-girlfriend's house and knocking on the door and begging her to take you back, which I personally haven't done in a while. Coming in at number 9 is Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, one of Pep's development projects at Bayern Munich, a very young attacking midfielder similar to Dele Alli or Ross Barkley. Pep actually started him in a German Cup final and loaned him out to Schalke, where he developed a little bit further. The two have a very, very special relationship, with Højbjerg describing Pep as like a second father, and that special relationship could be enough to convince Højbjerg to continue his development at Manchester City. Sticking with young attacking midfielders, number 8 is Leroy Sané, and this one is the Pep development project that never was. A long-term target for Pep and a man that City tried to sign in January unsuccessfully. Pep is a long-term admirer and would surely want to use the City's millions to bring him to the Premier League. The boy's on his way to Germany's Euro 2016 squad, and surely at the European Championships this summer, his price will only inflate, encouraging Pep to get this one done sooner rather than later. And number 7 is Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, one of the top strikers in world football, a player who set the Bundesliga alight this year again and won the African Player of the Year, much to the dismay of Yaya Toure, as you might remember. Aubameyang would surely be a hit in the Premier League and would terrify defences linking up with Sergio Aguero. It's no surprise that Pep Guardiola is something of an admirer, and you've got to feel a little bit sorry for Dortmund. With all the players linked to City, it seems like they could become the new Arsenal, Manchester City's next feeder club. And number 6 is German goalkeeper Marc-Andre ter Stegen, a man who didn't want 2 names like the rest of us, so instead had 4. Ter Stegen is one of the highest rated goalkeepers in Europe and a man who's second only to Manuel Neuer in the German national team. Allegedly disgruntled at Barcelona and could be up for a new challenge in the Premier League, which is surely bad news for City favourite Joe Hart. Allegedly, Pep Guardiola is not a fan of Joe Hart's distribution and could be up for a big change, leaving Joe on the sidelines. And number 5 is German midfielder Toni Kroos, one of the top midfielders in La Liga and an instrument in ending Manchester City's Champions League run. In that case, an instrument of torture. Now, Pep Guardiola is said to be a massive fan. I mean, who isn't? But even though Kroos left Bayern Munich whilst Pep was manager, Pep Guardiola allegedly wasn't a fan of letting him go. It was the board who decided it. And whilst they had 1 or 2 touchline scrapes while they were at the same club, Pep insists that those were only minor incidents. The real issue here would be whether Real Madrid would let one of their star players leave the club and move to the Premier League. And number 4 is one of the most talked about potential transfers of the window, Laporte's alleged mammoth move to Manchester City. Now, most of the papers are saying a fee of about £38 million, an enormous transfer fee. Can you possibly imagine Manchester City spending all that money on a defender and him not succeeding? Apart from Mangala and Otamendi and Boateng and all the others. But apart from them, Laporte is sure to succeed, and he is destined to be a Blue. The very fact that he got mentioned in articles with Manchester City led to him getting a season-long injury. Destined to be a Blue. Going into the top 3, John Stones had to be on this list somewhere. A player who is going to be the future of the England national team and is going to cure cancer and solve world hunger as well. That is, if you believe the people on Twitter. You can't argue though, he has got an awful lot of potential and does seem to be a Pep Guardiola kind of player and someone who could slot in at Manchester City. But with so much hype around him, he would command an exceptionally high transfer fee and would come with an awful lot of expectation as well. And some people say he might not be able to live up to it. By the time you watch this, our number 2, Ilkay Gundogan, could already be in a City shirt. The worst kept secret in football, and a man it seems Pep Guardiola is determined to build the team around at Manchester City, potentially a replacement for a seemingly outgoing Yaya Toure. Gundogan is undeniably a success in the Bundesliga, and people are already asking, is he going to be a success in the Premier League? Coming in at first place at the top of our list is Paul Pogba, one of the biggest, most glamorous names in world football, but also one of the most versatile this season alone, playing in the holding role, playing at number 10, even playing out on the wing for current club Juventus on occasion. Pep Guardiola is said to be a fan. He's a long-term Manchester City target, and not to forget, a Manchester United reject. But can Guardiola, like a mugger on a rough council estate, tear him away from the old lady of Turin? Only time will tell. I want to know what you think in the comments. Can we sign Pogba? Which of the players on our list, which of our 10 would you like to see at Manchester City? And is there anyone we've missed out? Is there any names that you think should be on this list that aren't? Let us know in the comments. If you haven't already, give it a thumbs up. And if you're also not, why don't you subscribe to BlueMoonRisingTV? Daily videos on Manchester City. My name is Alex, and this is BlueMoonRisingTV.